Hey Terry, good morning. How are you this hump day?
Oh, okay. I'm doing all right.
I almost forgot what day it was for a moment there, Terry.
Yeah, I did too. It's
But it
hard to
is the
keep
hump
track.
day. It is the camel day, Terry. Absolutely. 100% the Geico camel day today.
Yep.
And hopefully we have a little better day today than we had yesterday. I think that gentleman Frank came on and just jinxed the hell out of us, Terry.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah. Yeah. Other than a couple of good exactas, we didn't do much. So
Nah, it was one of those tough days. I said yesterday at the get-go that that was one of the more difficult cards I can remember in a while. And
yeah,
it's the problem wasn't. I mean, it wasn't. The problem was picking the winner. We had a lot of horses behind the winners, and some good prices. But just it doesn't do you any good unless you're doing show or place betting, and that's not what we're doing around
it's
here.
true. All of the pick fours paid quite a bit, so I'm sure a lot of people had problems yesterday.
Yes, indeed. And unfortunately, we had problems last night getting connected with Mike Smith.
Yeah,
So I don't know if you had a chance to catch that, but
I did.
apparently some issues went wrong with him. He got stuck somewhere in the airport or something along those lines. So we have rescheduled for
Oh,
not next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. So I
okay.
think this just maybe like the 8th or something like that of February, somewhere along that. Mike will join us.
Okay. That's
Maybe
things.
this time for sure. I don't want to make any promises because yesterday we made some promises, right? And it didn't work out the way we had hoped.
Yeah.
But we'll catch him for sure next time, Terry.
Well, you know how life is. Things come up and things cause things to be changed and happen. There's nothing that goes perfect ever. So,
Never had one of those phone calls this morning that kind of put me a little bit behind the 8 ball. And but the phone call was one of those things that in life is far more important than horse racing. So
yeah.
to the individual involved, certainly we hope that everything works out the way we all want it to work out. That's for sure. So today's card, Terry, what did you think about the Gulfstream card today?
I liked it myself. I thought it was pretty nice, pretty good. I think there's a couple of horses in there that they're almost like just
Don't say it.
okay.
Don't say it because they're going to get beat and beat handily if you say they can't. They
Oh
don't
no,
don't 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 do it.
I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say that stand out.
Yes. Okay. Well, there's a few horses I do agree with you that look like they're on the sharper side of things, Terry. So
Yep.
it's a 9 card race. Let's start with race number 1, Terry. Let me
Okay.
pull up the our picks so that we can all be on the same page. So race number 1, Terry, is a mile and 70 yards, Terry. And that is on the hold on one second. I got to do something else real quick. Let me pull that out of here so I'm not interfering with what people see there, but I have to pull my notes down from the top screen to the bottom screen. Otherwise, I won't be able to do 2 things at one time. No chewing bubblegum and walking for Rich if I don't have things set up correctly. Right, Terry?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not how we want things to go. Okay, so race number 1, Terry. Let's get back to that again. Race number 1 is a mile and 70 yards. It's a maiden claiming $16,000 race with a purse of $23,000. This one is for maidens and fillies 3 years old and up, Terry. It does not start the pick 4, but it does start the pick 5. So if you were going to put a horse or 2 in here in your pick 5, which ones would you focus on?
Well, I'd start with number 4, Stormy Stella. She ran third in her last race and now drops in class. She has the highest last race speed rating, and she has a good trainer jockey combination. Then I like number 5, Kaguya. Finished in the money in 3 out of 7 races at Gulfstream Park and has finished in the money in 3 out of 4 races at today's distance. Then number 6, Splicer, returns to the distance that seems to fit her running style. And her jockey in the last 7 days has won 4 out of 15 races. And they added Lasix today. And then I like number 3, Playa Inclusions.
Playa Inclusion.
Yeah, she showed
Mm-hmm.
speed in her last race, and then they added Lasix this time. So.
Mm-hmm. So I agree with you. Stormy Stella is my top selection at this mile and 70 yards, all weather racetrack. 62 races, Terry, so far. 35 were won by horses that come from off the pace. Only 7 managed to go wire to wire. The post positions from 1 through 7 play pretty reasonably. You do have a little small drop off in performance from number 8 and out. I do like Stormy Stella. It is the horse making a third start after a layoff. You have a pretty strong jockey trainer combination here with Luis Saez. I mean, you put Luis Saez with anybody and it makes the trainer better. But now with Jose D'Angelo, that combination hits for 40%. It's the only horse in the field dropping in class, Terry, from $32,000 purse last time to $23,000 this time. Has the top last race speed figure and the best early pace, late pace combo in the field. Number 5 horse, so we agree on the order here. Kagua, top late pace numbers, gets the first time Lasix, 9 furlongs workout since its last start, and its best form has come on the all-weather track. Splicer, first off a layoff, Terry, okay works for trainer Gilbert. Zerpa does win at 26% when he brings horses back off a rest of 46 to 90 days. And this is my proverbial Denzel Washington horse. Spends a lot of time around the winner's circle, just not in it. And then I do agree with you. I like play inclusion for the same reasons you do. Shows some speed, has some Lasix, but last time out did show much better fractions than it did in the prior race. Which brings us to race number 2, Terry, on the card today. This one is a 7 furlongs. I think this one's on the dirt. Claiming $8,000 for fillies and mare, 4 years old and up, Terry. How do you? And this one starts the pick 4, and I feel like the early pick 4, and there is definitely one of those horses that I think in this race, and I can tell you do too, is one of those standouts.
Yes, that's number 2, Pretty Rachel. This horse missed a race, not last race, but the race before. Ran 10th by 23. It was really a mystery. But other than that, it's won 4, 5, 6, 7 races out of the last 8 races. So anyway, it has the highest last speed rating and the best dirt speed as fastest among today's starters. Then number 3, Ches Paris. Ches Paris. Switches to a high percentage jockey, Irad Ortiz, has a sharp workout on January 22nd. Ran 36 breezing, 8th best out of 34. And then number 5, Time to Two-Step, finished in the money in 10 out of 16 races at Gulfstream Park and won the last one that she ran in. The trainer wins 24% of the time when going from a route to a sprint. And then number 1, Infatuation Dating. Rail Post wins at 22% clip, and this horse drops in class today.
So when you look at our first 7 picks, Terry, they're identical. 4, 5, 6, 3 in the first race, 2, 3, 5 in the second race. The only horse we disagree here is on that one horse, and I have the 4 horse in here. I have Infatuating as my 5th selection, and maybe the 4 horse is your 5th selection. I don't know. For me, Dance Till Dawn, the 4 horse, showed some early leg in its last start on dirt. And then it's run on dirt 3 times. So it looks to me like that is, for the 4 horse, the preferred surface with 3 runs and 2 seconds. Has the top pedigree and is also taking the biggest drop of any horse in this field. Ran for a purse of $54,000 last time out for 22. I do agree with you, Pretty Rachel. That 2 horse does look like a standout. Speed wins at 7 furlongs. They've had 19 races so far, Terry. 14 of them won by speed, with 4 going wire to wire. You have an inside 3 bias and an 8+ bias. Pretty Rachel has the top early pace figures by far, ran the fastest quarter mile of any horse has done in here. Only horse in the field last time out, ran a speed figure above par for the group. Chez Paris is the 3 horse, Terry. I'm pretty sure Tom right now is nodding in agreement with me. I got one finally right, I hope. Had a decent workout on January the 2nd. And unlike the 2 horse, the 3 horse, Chez Paris, has the top late pace numbers by a good margin. So if some of the cheaper speed starts to tail off, I would expect the 3 horse to find its way in there. Only problem for me here, Terry, is that when you look at the horse coming off the bench, and I was contemplating downgrading the horse over this, but hasn't run well at all after some time off. Maybe the upgrade to Irad Ortiz makes a difference here today. And finally, the 5 horse, Time to Two-Step. Won its last race going wire to wire with 3 consecutive speed figure increases. The horse should have a possibility to make it 4 in a row in its 3rd start off the bench. And when you look back at its previous 3 race cycle, the 3rd race was the best of the bunch. Race number 3, Terry, is race number 3 is 6 furlongs, Terry. This one is on the dirt. And if you recall, when we talked to Peter Aiello, the track announcer there, he did mention that speed does have a big factor. And we see that 57 of the 60 races were won by speed. So I'd say that's a big factor, wouldn't you?
I would, absolutely.
And 27 of the 60 went wire to wire. You have a rail bias, and then the inside three bias, and then 8 and out, Terry. So this race is kind of interesting to me, too, because of you got a lot of horses in here that have run that really haven't shown much so far in this maiden claim in 16,000. And then you have that first time starter square in the middle of all of it. You like Stacy's Ruby as your top pick. Why?
She's improved in her last 3 races, her speed rating.
Mm-hmm.
And she should improve at the shorter distance today. I think she should do really well. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, actually tied with another one. Then I like number 3, Gossiping. Drops in class today and can improve because they're adding blinkers and LASIKs.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 6, Artificial Intel, is a first-time starter, has a good jockey in Luis Saez, and he is winning at a 25% clip on his mounts. And then number 7, Ultimate Breeze. The trainer wins 19% of the time when they run their horse the second time off of a layoff.
So I just looked at a lot of these other horses in here, Terry, and really couldn't make a case for any of them. Too much. There was the 4-horse was my original top pick here, but he scratched out. So then the Artificial Intel, the 6-horse, the first time starter, jockey Luis Saez has been just lighting up Gulfstream since moving south from New York. The works are okay getting prepared for this spot. But then again, like I said, I looked at all the other horses and I couldn't really make a good case for any of them to win. Crooklyn does have the top pedigree in this field, Terry, and does have the best late pace numbers by a decent margin. A lot of the horses in the field show some speed and then fade really hard. So Crooklyn, I think, can sit 3rd or 4th out of the gate and then just run by everybody who's getting tired at the end. Number 7, Ultimate Breeze, is taking that Tom Carley drop, moving from $53,000 to $23,000. And I also like the 1-horse, Stacy's Ruby. When the 4-horse was in the race, it didn't make my top selections. It was between that and the 3, Gossiping. And it's a real tough call for me. I just didn't like Gossiping's last time out. The horse has been regressing. Did show some early speed, which was a change. Is getting LASIKs today, which was difficult for me. So it was a tough call between the 3 and the 1, Stacy's Ruby. I do like the post position getting that 22%. I do like that bullet workout, but that was at Charlestown. And I'm also not a big fan of the track upgrade going from Charlestown to Gulfstream Park. So I'm not quite sure what to make of the 1 or the 3. If the LASIKs is going to be more important, or the early speed and that bullet workout and the weight break for Stacy's Ruby. So that was really what I was thinking about in looking at those horses. What do you like? Who do you like in the Pegasus? Knicks Go or Life is Good, Terry? Well, we haven't really looked at that yet, but the one thing I have to say about that, Terry, is I recall when we were doing the Breeders' Cup Classic and we had Robertino Diodoro on the show, and it was the same sort of argument between Knicks Go and Essential Quality, if you recall.
Yes.
And in that, Robertino said he's always going to take the older horse. In this case, Knicks Go is the older horse over Life is Good by a year older. So yes. I think Knicks Go is probably still the one to beat. And yesterday, if you watched our Horse Center show, was actually rated the number 1 racehorse, I guess, in the United States or maybe on the planet. I'm not sure what the scope of that rating was.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I like Knicks Go. I think it's going to win that race. So
haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but we're going to get to it because tomorrow night we have on Claudia Sapardo from Gulfstream Park and our Players Edge podcast at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, and it is 6:30 if you're out at Terry time. Make sure if you're here on YouTube right now, you subscribe. We're trying to pass our friends, the Triple Clowns. We're not that far away, so help us out. Subscribe, and then if you, at the same time, you can follow us on YouTube. On Twitter and Facebook at Horse Race Today. Horse Race, the number 2, and then day. All right, Terry, race number 4 is the next race on the card. It also is the race that has your best bet in this 5.5 furlong race, Terry, on the all-weather track. And if you look at 5.5 furlongs all-weather track, Terry, I would guess that the Tapeta, because Pete told us that Tapeta is making races fairer, but 5.5 furlongs is probably not long enough to take away the speed bias, because 18 of the 25 won by speed, with 5 of the 25 going wire to wire. Again, you get a rail bias, and then you have an 8 and out bias, and then the 2 and the 3 have a better win rate than the 4 through 7. So why is the 4 horse here, which is my 4th selection, Terry, your top pick?
Well, I really like this horse. I looked at it over and over and over. It won its last race, and it actually improved its speed rating by quite a bit. I really liked the workout on January 5th, 47.2, which was the best out of 20 workouts. This horse has been in the money 4 times out of 5 races at Gulfstream, winning 2 of those. And it's been this distance is 100% in the money, winning 2 out of 3. So I don't think there's anything else to say about it. I think this is really a good. I like the odds too, and then they added
morning line. Yeah, it's nice.
And then they added Lasix today. So anyway, so the second horse I like is 5 Chocolosa, won at last race at Gulfstream Park, and it has the best all-weather speed among today's starter. Then I like number 2, Princess Cupid, finished in the money in 2 out of 2 races, winning 1 of those races. Lasix added today. And then number 3, Mount Sinai. The trainer wins 28% of the time with entries in all-weather surface races.
So I'm going to start with the 5 horse here, Terry J. The reason I always kind of screw up the name is because to be honest with you, I should have it up on the screen, and I don't have it up. So I'm trying to remember out of memory. And I don't remember if the last 3 letters are ARDO or ODRO. I mean, that's really what's messing me up in my mind. So
yeah,
that's why I got the Claudia part down. It's the second part that I just keep forgetting how she spells her name. So I apologize in advance for that. And it's just me trying to scramble at the end and not having everything up that I need to have up. So looking at race number 4, I like Chocolosa, Terry, because it's making its second start off a layoff. Showed some slight improvement in race number 2 post debut. And then trainer Larry Ravelli, who had to find a new home after they shut down everything up here in Chicagoland, wins 35% of the time when this horse is making the second start off a layoff. So it looks to me like Larry targets the second race as the race that he wants his horses to win. And the horse is dropping in purse from $54,000 to $41,000. I think it's the biggest drop in the field. Number 7, Blame It On Rose. That sounds like somebody who owns this horse was blamed everything on at home, right? There was that person in that family.
Yeah.
But this horse has put together the fastest quarter mile that any horse in this field has. 3 consecutive speed figure increases, Terry. And then when you look at the first time Lasix on top of those fast fractions, that's usually a pretty good combination. And it did have the top last race speed figure. My only question is, this is going to be the first time around on the Tapeta. So you just don't know if that's going to translate or not. Princess Cupid, Terry, the 2 horse, is made a huge improvement in race number 2. Was bet well in both starts, so obviously the public thought well of the horse. Was the favorite on debut, and it's also another one that has early pace, getting the first time Lasix. Last time the horse raced was on December 23rd, so not all that long ago, a little more than a month ago. But in between, the horse has had 3 good workouts. And then finally, I do agree with you. I like the number 4, Alla Turca. Terry, the horse, as you mentioned, has a lot of good things going for it. My only concern is that it's coming off of the bench. And when a horse runs the first time off a bench, you have to look at its debut or previous times when it came off the bench. I think this is really important when you're looking at horses that are making their first start after some time off. And that's the case for Alla Turca. And in its debut, it just kind of ran an even race. So I do like those workouts. I'm just a little bit concerned that that first start in its career wasn't as sharp as I'd like for it to be. Race number 5, Terry, is 7.5 furlongs on the turf course, Terry. It's a maiden claiming $35,000 affair. They've run 6 races at 7.5 furlongs on the turf course, so not that many. 4 of them were won by stalkers and closers. Not a horse went wire to wire. And it looks like you want to have post position 2 or 3, or you want to have a higher number like 8 or out, Terry. So let's see. You have the 9, the 5, the 1, and the 12. We agree on 2 horses, our middle horses. And on the barbells, we don't agree at all. I don't have the 9 horse in my picks, and you don't have the 8 horse in your picks. So what the hell does that mean?
Means it's a pretty wide open race, I think. So, tell you the truth, I like the 9 because All in Jest was carried out very wide in her last race and finished 4th anyway, and improved on her race from the one before. The trainer wins 22% of the time when their enters an entry starts in the second grass race. And I like number 5, Zambake. Drops in class today and goes from maiden to maiden claiming, and the trainer wins 32% of the time when he does this. Then number 1, Spooky Spice, is trying turf for the first time, and the trainer wins 25% of the time when their entry goes from maiden to maiden claiming, and this horse drops in class today. And then number 12, Ox Chili or Chit or something. I don't know. Ox
What?
something.
What? This is a G-rated show, Terry.
No.
What was that?
I can't pronounce that.
It's
word.
I'm a Hockschittel.
Well, hey,
this is a rated G show, Terry.
Yeah, watch
Never
out.
mind.
Anyway, this horse is drying grass for the first time. It drops in class today, and some of these names are just I just can't get them. I'll tell you.
Yeah, that's kind of tough. So anyway, I'm going to start with number 8, Magnolia Road. A little bit harder, easier to pronounce than that profane word that you're trying to get out there, Terry. There's a horse that should be better in the second start off the break. I agree with you, Terry. This is a wide open race. Tom Carley drop here, so the horse is going from maiden special weight to maiden claiming, and that's a $65,000 to $30,000 drop. You want to talk about taking a big drop, Terry? Spooky Spice, the 1 horse, is taking a huge drop.
Yeah.
Last time out, I think it was at Woodbine, ran for $126,800. Today it's running for 35. So that one, I mean, it's running a third of the value that ran last time. Has the top pedigree in the field, Terry, and it has the top early pace and late pace combination since the 13 didn't scratch in. Number 5, Zambak, is another Tom Carley drop from 65,000 to 30,000. Has a good workout in her last, and she's got some first-time Lasix here, so that should work out for her. And one of 2 horses in here that are the most expensive, costing $50,000. Then I got a little bit of a price in here, Terry, with number 10, Bravo Zulu, something I can pronounce, making its third start off a layoff, Terry, and had its by far its best race on its first try on the turf course. So I like to see that. The switch in surfaces woke Bravo Zulu up, at least in the very early part of the race, then faded really badly. But it's getting Lasix this time around, Terry. So I hope that Lasix is enough to take this 30-1 shot and put it in maybe the back end of the superfecta, back end of the trifecta, and juice those tickets, right?
Yeah, it sounds good to me.
Yeah, it says you guys were on those 12 ones yesterday. Awesome stuff. Yeah, our best bets, our boxes up worked out good for us yesterday. But outside of that, I was kicking myself for the rest of the day, Terry. How about you?
Yeah, me too. I was happy at least we got those 2 good exactas in that 12-1 shot winning. Yeah.
And then the other one I think was 6-1. So
yeah,
in the race 5, Terry, ends up our early pick 4. So we both kind of agree that the race is a little bit different here in terms of to take that 2 horse, that standout, single it, and then see if we can catch something of value behind it. Explain your ticket.
Okay, I like the 2. I think that 2's a standout horse and should win that race. So anyway, and then in the third race, I picked the 1, 3, 6, and 7. I think that's a wide open race as well as the 5th race. And then in the 4th race, I have the 4, 5, and 2. And then in the 5th race, I like the 1, 5, and 9.
Yeah, I hit it on you right there because we're getting a compliment from Jared Bush saying he used our picks to combine for a nice $600 pick 3. So
all right,
that's always good to hear. I wish we would have played the $600 pick 3, Terry.
Me too. That's cool.
Nice to get that pick 4 at the end. I agree with you, Terry. I like that 2 horse on the top of the ticket, Terry. And then I went really deep in race number 3, just trying to capture most of the field there. As I said, the 1 and the 3 were tough choices for me at the end. So I had the budget. So I went ahead and put the 3 in there as well. I feel like the 5 horse in race number 4 could win that race, Terry. I had another horse on top of that scratched out, but I paired it up with the 7 and then just closed it out with all 4 picks in race number 5 to get to the who is there a race 1 already at Gulfstream Park, Terry? Is it over?
No, it starts in 5 minutes.
All right. So yeah, make sure you keep an eye on that. So that's how I ended up my pick 4, the hot dog pick 4 in race number 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then race 6, Terry, brings us to the start of the second pick 4, the late pick 4 of the day. And race number 6, Terry, is a 5.5 furlong race, Terry, on the all-weather track. This one is a claiming $12,000 500 purse. And the purse for that, it's $12,500 claiming with a purse of $28,000. And you know what's crazy about these things, Terry, nowadays with these purses going up the way they are, you see people claim a horse at 12.5 and then run it next time out at 10, and it looks like it's a drop, but it's not really a drop because the purse could be still $28,000.
That's absolutely true. Yeah.
So it can fake you out, and I think that's part of what a lot of this claiming game that's been going on recently, because you do, like I say, you can take a horse out of a race, drop it in terms of conditions, but actually still run for about the same amount of money. Yeah. So 5.5 furlongs on the all-weather, Terry. We talked about that in race number 5. Does favor speed. Looks like you want to be on the rail or have a high number. We both start with number 8, Brody's Causeway. Why do you like Brody's Causeway?
Well, I like this horse because it went and ran in the money in the last 3 races, all 3 times. And then I like the fact that it won its last race. It just kept trying to win and win. Finally won its last race, and it won it on the all-weather surface. It has the best all-weather speed among today's starters. Hot jockey trainer who in the last 14 days have won 2 out of 5 races, and Lasix was added to this horse. And I like number 7, She's Reckless, debuting at Gulfstream after being off for more than 2 months. Trainer Larry Revelia wins 40% of the time with the horses that he has taken a 61 to 180 day layoff. And then number 5, Awesome Appeal, won the last race at Gulfstream Park at today's 6 furlong distance, and now shortens to 5.5 furlongs. Lasix is added to this one. Then number 2, Blushing Keelan, showed early speed last race.
At least you're not swearing again.
No, I don't think so. Keelan. Anyway, she showed early speed last race and finished 3rd versus Tougher, but it was on the dirt. So we'll have to see how it does in this track surface. Should improve at the shorter distance, and they added Lasix to this horse.
I like the 8 horse Brody's Causeway, Terry, because it does have the top last race speed figure, and it was better than par for these conditions. I think it's only one of 2 horses on the card today that's last race was better than the average winning race for the conditions it's in. Not only does it run a top speed figure above par, but today it gets a little bit of Lasix, and you couple that with the fastest fractions any horse in this field has run. That's usually a pretty good combination. And on top of the strong early pace, it does have a very strong combination in terms of the best early pace and late pace combo. So I was thinking about making 8 one of my best bet in here. I waited for the next race. Number 4, K. Cody, was bet well in both starts, Terry, and then improved big time in race number 2. So again, the public thought highly of the horse. It showed some improvement in race 2. So maybe in race number 3, it'll get there. And it does have some of the fastest opening fractions in its last race, and then any other horse ran last time out. So should be on the gas from the gate. Number 5, Awesome Appeal, 3rd race off a layoff, Terry. And if you look back in those previous cycles, folks, this is something I do a lot, and it helps me sometimes catch some prices in there. The 3rd off a layoff was the best in its only other 3-race cycle, and it was I think a pretty good improvement from races number 1 and number 2. This horse has the top pedigree, and right behind Brody's Causeway with the top early pace, late pace combination. And finally, number 6, Dolce April. Yeah, I guess something like that. 2nd off the break, Terry. It gets the upgrade to the dominant jockey right now in South Florida, Luis Saez. It's taking a drop from a $34,000 to $28,000 purse. Was the favorite last time, got beaten, But despite getting beat, Terry, it ran much, much, much better fractions last time out. Now, race number 7 is also 5.5 furlongs, Terry. But unlike the previous race, this one is on dirt. And this is an optional claiming $35,000 race with a purse of $39,000 for 3 years old, which have not started for a claiming price of $35,000 or less. Never won a race other than a maiden or claiming price of $35,000. These condition books nowadays are a little bit you have to have a degree in like, I don't know, what is it, Rosetta Stone to figure out what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
But 5.5 furlongs on dirt, Terry. 11 races so far, 9 of them. So you can see the difference between all weather and dirt is even faster on the dirt. 9 won by speed. 4 of the 11 went wire to wire. It looks like you want to have a post 4 or out because the inside 3 kind of struggle a little bit. So I'm starting with the 4-horse, Terry, as my best bet. Leavosa is a big time early pace advantage, Terry. Couple that with the top pedigree, 4 consecutive speed figure increases, gets Lasix, and has some early pace. What are your reasons for having the 4-horse on top?
Well, I like this 4-horse because this is a hat trick horse after winning 2 races in a row, going for a 3rd win. Has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And then I like number 5, Peachy Weechy. Won her debut race at Delaware in October of last year. Has a decent workout January 12th, 48.4 breezing from the gate. And Lasix is at it. Then number 1, Arrow Shape, was beaten only a length and a half on an all-weather in the last start. Best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And then number 2, Dignified, was boxed and steadied at the 16th pole, finished 3rd, had won her previous race at Gulfstream, and has a good workout on January 19th at 47.4, breezing 5th best out of 22.
So this race, Terry, also is your box it up, correct?
It is, yes.
So the box it up is when we take a $1 exacta box, a 50-cent trifecta box, and a 10-cent superfecta box. Yesterday, neither one of us hit our trifectas, but we both had pretty nice exactas. Terry's exacta, I think, for $1 was like $42 or something like that, and I think mine was 28. So those 2 exactas worked out fairly well for us. And I think the 4th horse in both of our races was also in our pick. So if we had just scooted up 1 spot, we could have had trifectas in there as well.
That's right.
So they're about to take off for race number 1, and there they go at Gulfstream Park. And the 4-horse, which is Stormy Stella, on the top of both of our tickets, storms off to a pretty easy lead. Chased closely by number 6, Splicer. Number 7 is going way wide. Brain Trust kind of fanned out a little bit on the turn there. The 3-horse kind of scooted up on the rail in Playa Inclusion, which is our 4th choice. So right now they're running 4, 7, 3, 6. The 1 is kind of just, it seems like it's trying to start a stride a little bit. Looks like it's running a little green to me. A lot of head movement.
Yep, I can see that.
So they just made it out of the first turn. The 4-horse coming through the opening quarter in 24 and 4. The 7-horse is moving alongside. The 6-horse swung out a little bit wide, Splicer, to get some room to run as they come down the back stretch. In the very back of the field, Terry, is number 8, and that is Luna Xiao, which I don't think either one of us has.
No.
So now they're heading into the turn. The order really hasn't changed much, though the 6-horse is trying to make its move on the 7, but the 7 looks pretty sturdy right about now. The jockey on the 4-horse really hasn't asked much from him yet, so I feel like the 4-horse should be all right in here. Here comes the 5-horse, Segua, making its charge. The 7-horse is pulled alongside of the 4, and it looks like the 4 might be tiring a little bit now, Terry.
It does, yeah. Shorten and stride somewhat. So
so the 5-horse just blew right by the 7-horse, so it looks like the 5-horse is going to be your winner. The 6-horse is finally finding its legs. It's coming on strong at the end. Can the 6 get past the 7? I don't know about that, Terry. It's going to be close at the wire. The 6 is going to get the 7. So the order is going to go 5, 6, 7, and 3 as the 4-horse runs out of the money.
Yeah, that 4 short and stride there coming in the turn ran out of gas, it looked like to me.
So the second we had the 5 and 6 were our second and third picks, right? So the 5 went off at 2-1, and the 6 went off at. Neither one of us had the 7, the Brain Trust in there, but Better than the start we had yesterday, where none of the horses came in. Right?
That's right. Six went off at 4-1 or 7-1. No,
Mm-hmm.
4-1.
4 to
Went
1.
off at
So,
4-1. Yeah.
so he got to. Jared said he's got the exact 25 times. That's beautiful.
Holy crap, that's nice.
That'll work, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Good
So the
going,
4
Jared.
horse in your box, Terry, as I mentioned, is my best bet here, and I back it up with the 2 horse that is Dignified, finished only 1.25 lengths behind the 4 last out. And this is really, I think, Dignified, I think, is the second best horse in this field. 5 consecutive speed figure increases, and it's only run 5 times. So in every single race, the horse has improved so far. Taking and also has the best late paced figures in the field, Terry. Number 1, Arrow Shape, has the fastest fractions that any horse in this field has run so far, Terry, which is a positive. Has one of 2 horses that are taking a big drop from $54,000 to $39,000. Not really a big drop. And it also has the second best early pace figures behind the 4 horse. Number 3, Cajun Cousins, got some good works getting ready for this race, Terry, after a little bit of a break, getting some first-time Lasix with some speed to go along with it. So that's usually a pretty good combination, Terry. Race number 8 is my box it up, Terry, and I picked race number 8. It says Tappet seems to be added late pace figures horses with speed. Yeah. So when you look at race number 8, Terry, my box it up is the 8, 1, 7, and 4, because I feel like I'm catching some good odds in this race, Terry. For sure. Race number 8 is a 1 1/16 on the turf. They don't really run many at a 1 1/16 on the turf, with this claiming 35,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime. In fact, when they put the notes together, they just, all of them are a route. So they've run 39 route races on turf, Terry. 24 of them were won by speed. 11 of the 39 went wire to wire. It looks like there's a slight inside 3 bias to me. So, of course, I have to do the smart thing here, Terry, with my box it up. And I got to go all the way outside and start with the 8 horse, which is a horse you started with as well. Systematic. Systematic, Terry, last time out, first time off the bench, showed some very good early speed. This time around, it's the second time off a layoff. You saw some improvement the last time the horse ran a second off a break. So I expect that you're going to continue to see the same. The horse has run at this distance once before and managed to pull off the W. So I like to see that sort of stuff. Race. Then the second pick is number 1, Miss Delicious, Terry. This is a horse that also came off the break last time out, was well bet, and showed some early pace. Got claimed, Terry. First off the claim for Michael Maker, who's a very good trainer, is a 15% angle. This is another horse that did improve last time out in its second start off the break, Terry. And it also has one of the stronger jockey trainer combinations. Number 7, Raspberry Ballet. I think that is a hat tip to the now deceased Prince, who put on, I think, the best Super Bowl show ever. I don't know about you, Terry, but did put on the Raspberry Ballet, did put the last race speed figure above par. So one of 3 horses at the track to do so, did manage to put together some of the best opening mile fractions last time out. And then I'm going to close it off with the number 4 horse, Terry, who has a very strong jockey trainer combination with Javier Castellano and Michael Maker. The 2 together finish in the money 67% of the time, making a second start off a layoff, Terry. And the 6 horse does have a history of some pretty strong late run. That's why I'm boxing up the 8, 1, 7, and 4, Terry. Why do you like the 8 horse?
Well, I like the 8 horse Systematic because it finished in the money in 3 out of the 5 races, and she won one at Gulfstream Park. And she's 1 for 1 at this distance, as you said. Then I like number 7, Mongolian Mission. She was ranked, bumped, and steadied on the first turn and lost all chance in that race. So I throw that race out. The trainer wins 24% of the time when running entries in claiming races. And then like number 3, Rosa Star, has finished in the money 60% of the time at Gulfstream. She's returned to the turf and has the best turf speed among today's starters. And then I like number 5, Alphabet. Has been off for more than 2 months, but has been working out in preparation for this race, drops in class today. And my alternate is number 1, Miss Delicious, the one that you like. So
And that brings us to the final race of the day, Terry. So while we pull up the final race, let me pull up our our prime rib pick fours, because we both decided to go with the last 4 races of the day. Terry, you know what's really weird is that we both kind of had the same idea in terms of our ticket structure. I mean, they're both structured exactly the same. And in the last race, we picked 5 horses, and somehow all 5 of them are exactly the same. I don't even
Oh
know how
my.
that works, but walk us through your picks in race number 9.
All right. In race number 9, I like the number 10, Easy Stride. Just missed winning the last 2 races and has the best all-weather speed in today's race.
Mm-hmm.
Actually tied with another horse, and has one highest last race speed rating, tied with another one. Then I like number 8, Not So Easy. Won last race at Gulfstream Park. Has a hot trainer jockey combination who has won 2 out of 4 races in the last 14 days. And I like number 1, Papa Haran. Finished 3rd versus similar in the last race and has the best all-weather speed among today's starters, tied with the number 10. And has the highest race speed rating, also tied with number 10. Then I like number 7, Ocean Ride. Won his last 2 races at Gulfstream Park.
So Ocean Ride is my top selection too, Terry. It's a horse that last time out ran on the all-weather, put together some nice numbers. This is a all-weather, 1 mile and 70 yards, just like the opening race on the card, Terry. The horse does typically run off the bench, coming off the bench, a little bit of a struggle. But when you look at the all-weather numbers, Terry, they are the best all numbers that this horse put together so far. Last time out, as I mentioned, did win on the track by a neck. The first time it tried the all-weather, finished second by a nose. Had some problems in the 3rd race where it ran on an all-weather, got bumped at the start, showed some early pace, and then kind of faded a little bit. So it seems to me that Ocean Ride is a horse that absolutely 100% wants to run on the Tapeta course. Number 1, Papa Honor, Terry. Last time out, ran the top last race speed figure, got claimed by Gustavo Delgado, and he wins first time off a claim at 26%, Terry. That's on 39 races, so you know that it's a pretty sharp angle for the trainer. Obviously, he's identified this horse and this race as a place to put Papa Honor. My next horse, you have to go all the way to the back of the card here, Terry. To your top selection is my 3rd selection, and that is Easy Stride, Terry. Easy Stride, Terry, has got an easy stride late with some of the best late pace figures in the field. The last time out, the race was a little bit slower than the previous race, Terry. I don't mind that, though, because you do see that big late push at the end of the race with a horse that did tie for the highest last race speed figure. And if you remember, with this 1 mile and 70 yards on the all-weather track, Terry, that there's been 62 races, 35 of them were won by stalkers or closers. So the 10 horse absolutely 100% fits that bill. And then finally, the last pick of the day, Terry, for me is horse number 2, which is On the Couch. Which, you know, is how we spend our Sundays sometimes, unfortunately, for men, and much to the chagrin of the women in our lives. But this is a horse that's making its 3rd start off a layoff, improved sharply from race number 1 to race number 2. If you look back at its only other previous 3-race cycle, race number 3 was about the same as race number 2. It's a little bit of a downgrade, but having Luis Saez in the irons for the 2nd time in a row, I think should be a benefit for On the Couch. And then, of course, we both added a couple of other horses at the back end of our prime rib pick fours, $96 tickets, hoping to hit something big at the end there, Terry.
Yes, that's right. It looks like to me, too, that Jared likes the number 3 horse in the 6th race, I think. Says it's setting on a big race.
Yes, he says it has. It says here that he has fast closing, most speed. I would not leave off. So in race number 6, unfortunately, Terry and I, neither one of us have the 3, Terry.
Yeah, okay.
He thanks us for the selection. He'll use them. I hope that we do better today than we did yesterday, although we did help with a nice pick 3 yesterday.
Yep, absolutely.
And then today, Terry, you have your best bet of the day is over at, it's also at, well, we talked about this race number 4 already, right? This is the best pick of the day. So
it is, yeah. And yesterday, my best bet number in the 5th race, Walk Me Home, ran 2nd. And then the 5 Awesome Power ran out of the money, but the 1 Love in Her Eyes ran third and paid $540 to play to show. So anyway, today my best bet, as we talked about before, number 4, Ala Turca, likes
Mhm.
the distance, finishing in the money 3 out of 4, out of 3 races, and he won 2 of those. And of course, likes the track, finishing 4 out of 5 races, winning 2 of those. And then I like 5 Chakalusa, won last race at Gulfstream Park, best all weather speed as fast as one of today's starters. And then I actually had to replace my third pick with my fourth pick, number 2 Princess Cupid, because the third pick was scratched. Finished in the money in 2 out of 2 races and won 1 of those races. And Lasix is at it today.
Al Tukar is the best bet today for DRF2. So says Jared Bush. So hopefully that works out for you, Terry.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then tonight, hopefully our guest shows up, Terry, on the Horse Center, which Sean and I will be talking with. Hold on one second here. I got to pull up the right page again real quickly, Terry. We'll be talking with Jonathan Stetton from Past the Wire. And then tomorrow, here I have the name in front of me this time, Jay. Claudia Spadaro. How about that? Did I get it right that time, Jay Marco? I hope so. She'll be our guest tomorrow night from Gulfstream Park to talk about the Pegasus. And we'll talk about, do we like Nick's Go or do we like Life is Good? Which one we like better in that spot, Terry. And if you like what you saw today, if horse racing today is good, then please subscribe on YouTube. Help us pass the Triple Clowns. We want to go get AJ, Sarah, and Randy, run right by them. Closing in the stretch, baby. Boom, and blowing by him for the W. And then, of course, you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter. You see it on the scroll down there at Horse Race Today, both for Twitter and Facebook. And Sean's also on got it set up on Instagram and some other things as well. So just wherever you are, we're going to try to be. Any final thoughts, Terry, before we get up and out of here on this hump day?
Yeah, just that I hope everybody does really well and stay safe. And I see Jared says the number 2 is 3 to 5 in the Gulf. How do you make money on that? One of the things I do is I'll go 2 all and then all 2 for $1. And a lot of times it comes through. Then I'll do a $10 exacta from the 2 to the other 2 horses that I like. So.
Yeah, usually the only thing I try to do with those horses, when you have a horse like that, Terry, I do one of 2 things, Terry. I either bet against it, right?
Yep.
So I'll do like a pick 4, throw it off the ticket altogether, and then hope that something else does beat it. Or if I'm going to use it, like I did today in our hot dog pick 4s, and we'll run through our picks again real quick again. So in our hot dog pick 4, which starts in this race, I'll single it and then hope to catch something on the back end of the ticket where you're catching a big price. And that's why we kind of went a little bit deeper into some of the other races.
Yeah.
The other thing I do, I don't usually ever bet them on top of an exacta. I'll do a small exacta where I backdoor exacta it. So I'll take maybe 2 horses that I like, put it on top of the 2, and then I'll do like an exacta box with my 3 favorite horses and throw the 2 out, but for not a lot of money. That way, if it does hit and you have a 3 to 5 off the ticket, like probably 90% of the tickets are going to have that 2 horse in there.
Yep.
Do you feel like it's a lock? You know, Jared, I've been around this game way too long to ever think a horse is a lock.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've been at the back end of a pick 4 or back end of a pick 5, and I've had the 3 to 5 right there as my top selection, right? And that horse runs a bad race and you lose. And you feel like I got this, and you just don't. So,
well,
and it seems to be to me, just real quick, sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt. And it seems to me that the ones that always seem to disappoint are the ones that are 3 to 5 or 2 to 5, 1 to 5. Those are under the 1-to-1 odds. Those always seem to be the ones that disappoint me.
Yeah, it's true. And, I've been doing this for over 60 years, and there's so many things that can happen in a race. The jockey can lose the whip. The horse can run better in the morning than it does in the afternoon, or vice versa. Could get blocked, could come out of the gate, hit the gate. Just there's so many variables that you just can't ever call a horse a lock.
Yeah, just when even when they hit their knees right off the get-go, and the race is over before it even started. So I mean, just as you mentioned, a lot of different things. But Terry and I both locked them in as our top pick in our hot dog pick 4. So let's just real quick run through all the picks at Gulfstream today. Here's all of our picks. The 5 and 6 were the horses that managed to fill out the exacta in race number 1. Race number 2 is approximately 9 minutes from running. And then Terry's best bets, race number 4. His box it up is race number 7. My best bet's race number 7. And my box it up in race number 8 because we're catching some good odds in race number 8. As far as our hot dog pick 4 is concerned, which is coming up right now, you can see Terry and I locked in the 2 here at that 3 to 5 morning line. Well, not morning line, but running line right now. And then finally, our prime rib pick 4 is Terry and I both like. We're both going 4, 2, 4, and then 5 on the 6 on the back end. 6 on the back end. And the interesting thing for me, Terry, is the 4 is my best bet, and I really thought about singling that one and just adding more horses in race number 6 and race number 8. But I like to have a backup plan just in case.
I agree with you. Every time I single a horse like that, it seems like it backfires. So, and my second pick normally wins.
Yeah, it does indeed. Yeah. All right, Terry, as I mentioned, any final thoughts before we get up and out of here?
No, just have a good week, everybody. I'm hoping Jared wins like crazy today and stuffs his pocket with lots of money, and glad that he's involved with us and comes on and gives us comments. And then if you like what you saw today, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at Horse Racing, the number 2
horse race, Terry. Just horse race today. No horse racing, just horse race.
Yeah, that's right. And like us on Facebook at Horse Race number 2 Day.
Absolutely, 100% do that. Wish you guys luck. Play that 3 in race number 6, Jared says. So everybody keep that in mind. Play that 3 in race number 6 for Jared. That hopefully that horse comes through at a big price for everybody. I think he said it's 15 to 1 morning line. Of course, we hope everybody has a fantastic Wednesday hump day, and that all of your picks, be it the 3 in the 6th race over at Gulfstream Park or any other, Terry, ends up in
the winner's circle.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic hump day, everybody.